Well, good Monday morning to you. Trucker Todd here, and time for another video. All right, folks, here lately, and it's common every year, after the first of the year, the first quarter of the year, guys change companies. And some of you are new to the industry. When this channel started, it was more for experienced drivers, but since that time, we've picked up a lot of new drivers, people that are coming into it and have a lot of questions. And so I've done a video like this similarly in the past, but I thought it might be good to go back and revisit what you should have on your truck. Many of you, after you go to orientation, especially if you're at DART, but I'm sure it's true with other companies as well, they're going to try to route you back by the house to pick up stuff, so that you'll be able to come out here and work and kind of hit the ground running. If you get a rental car to go to one of these orientations, DART or another company, these are some things that you really need to make sure you have on your truck. And so without further ado, let's jump into it. Here we go. Here's the music.
And this is why I do this, why I'm out here, why I keep that hammer down, flying by these road signs with home on my mind, with these wheels turning round, for my family and for my kids, for this life I wanna live. And this is why I do this.
Alrighty, we're back. Before we jump into it, you guys give this video a thumbs up, share it on your social media platforms, look down below, make sure you're subscribed. That really helps this channel out a lot, makes it visible for more people. And also, look in the description below. My Facebook's there, my Instagram's there, my email's there. There's also a link if you'd like to apply at DART Transit. That is the best way to apply. If you do talk to another recruiter, tell them you've been watching Trucker Todd. Most of them know who I am. If not, give them my driver number of 58180. That really helps me out, and it also allows me to help you out. I've mentioned before in other videos that sometimes I can help if they're having trouble getting employment verified and things like that. Whereas if you don't list my link in there, or my driver number in there, they're not going to share that information with me, and I'm not able to help you as much. So anyway, back to the subject at hand. Things that you really need to have on your truck. There's 5 basic categories, and then one of them has a lot of stuff to it. You guys, a lot of you will think of other things that I didn't get in this list. Please feel free to leave them in the description below, or email them to me. We might make another video and talk about them. Anytime you do a list like this, there's always going to be things that's left out. But anyway, one of the main things that you need to have is a smartphone. And I know that seems like a gimme that everybody would have at this point, but there's still a lot of guys going around with what we used to call an analog phone that does not have internet or things like that. Why is that important? Well, especially now with these polar vortexes and everything we've been having lately, you need to have access to weather reports and things like that to know what you're going to be driving into, so that you can be properly prepared. Now, can you do it with an analog phone? Yeah, I guess you could stop at a truck stop every day and watch a weather report there, but you're wanting to do things in a way that save you the most time. And having to sit in a truck stop and watch a weather report for an hour or even 15 or 20 minutes trying to find out what the weather's going to be in your specific region is a lot more time consuming than if you can just pull it up on your phone. And so that's something that is really, really important. Another thing, and I'm going to get a lot of guys that disagree with me, is you need to have a CB radio. And on top of that, that CB radio needs to be on. Why is that important? Well, granted, you did look up your weather reports on your smartphone that morning, but sometimes things happen. There can be accidents, there things like that, and if you've got your CB on, And if others around you have their CB on, it can be a life-saving device. Also, as you guys know, regardless of who your cell phone carrier is, there are dead spots, whereas a cell phone has no dead spots. So if you're in a bind, maybe your Omnitrax is not working, you're having electrical problems, that CB radio, well, I guess if you're having electrical problems, it won't help you. But that CB radio can tell you about dangers that lay ahead. If there's something in the road, an accident or debris or something, people can tell you in advance so you can get slowed down and prepared for it. In the old days, we also could use it to let us know where the police were. But I know every one of you is a safety-minded driver, and none of you are speeding, so that's not a problem. All right, moving right along. This one's a big one. This is, everybody needs to have a Bluetooth. And to me, I hate to judge drivers this way, but if I see a driver holding his phone up to his ear, going down the road, I think to myself, that's not a very good driver. In this day and age, Walmart has Bluetooth headsets for $7. If you can't afford $7, you're not a very good truck driver. And granted, it's not going to be a very good one. I recommend saving your pennies and getting a better one, either through Amazon or at one of the truck stops. A lot of orientations, like Dart orientations, they actually sell headsets in orientation. They'll settlement deduct them out of your pay because they realize the importance of Bluetooth headsets as well. So if you don't have one, get you one. And if you can't afford one, think about why you can't afford one. Maybe the company you're working for is not the company for you. Maybe it's a problem with your work ethic. See why you can't afford a Bluetooth headset. All right, folks, the next big one on the list, and I'm going to get some guys that disagree with me on this. You need to have a GPS that is designed for trucking, that shows truck routes, things like that. Has settings for low clearance bridges, things like that. But on top of that, you need to have an atlas too. Now, my GPS has a built-in atlas. I can go in there and look through it. You might need to get one of the big laminated ones from the truck stop, but you need to have a GPS and an atlas on your truck, and you need to be able to work both of them in a really good way. So you need to know the functions of your GPS, as well as if your GPS says something that looks funny, they all hiccup sometimes. You need to have that atlas to fall back on. And I know some of you are going to disagree with me. My Omnitrax has a navigation system in it. It's terrible. I don't use it. But at the very least, use something that will help you. Maybe offer a second opinion to your routing. You may have a route that you have in mind, and that one may give you a better idea. I know in Texas I can beat my GPS all the time because I know my way around the state. But anyway, that's enough about that. I'm not going to lecture you about that. The final thing I want to talk to you about is emergency supplies. Now, some of these things you're going to say, well, Todd, summer's coming, I don't need these things. No, you still need to carry these things because there's always weather anomalies. So some of these things would include extra water. Hey, if you break down on the side of the road and it's 3 or 4 hours until somebody can get to you, you need to have water and food so that you're not suffering out on the side of the road. If there's a bad weather situation and people can't get to you, you need to have enough supplies that you can sustain yourself till help gets there. You also need to have antifreeze. I feel silly saying some of these things, but antifreeze, oil, things like that. You need to have those kind of things on the truck. Gloves, first aid kit. I have a first aid kit back there. If I get injured, I've got bandages, I've got Neosporin, things like that. These things are important. Basic tools. I'm not saying you got to be GM Goodwrench, but you need to have a basic wrench set, a basic socket set, a hammer. Guys all the time sitting at truck stops waiting 4 hours to get a mud flap put on. Where if you've got a couple of box end wrenches, you can get out there and change it in 10 minutes and be on down the road. Well, Todd, I'm not getting paid for that labor. Well, maybe not, but you're not getting paid to sit, and even if you are, it's not as much as you'd make going down the road. So basic tools are important. As I mentioned, food. You want to have some food on the truck. I carry like some canned ravioli and stuff under the bed. You want to have about 3 days worth. You never know what could happen, and that stuff could come in really handy. Here's one a lot of guys forget: blankets. You need to have blankets on the truck. Yeah, even in the summer months, so that if something happened, you could stay warm until help arrived. I would say carry winter clothes year-round. When you don't need them, put them on the top bunk, put them under the bed, but carry just a little bit, especially if you run up north. There's times it could still get really cold. If your truck had a problem, at least you could sustain yourself until help arrived. My wife and I have sat through blizzards before. Well, on my birthday one year, we were snowed in Egan, Minnesota, in a blizzard. And so having those things really helps. Here's another one: boots. Now, I'm not going to get into the debate about you guys that wear flip-flops or sandals or anything like that. You need to have a pair of boots on your truck, or the hiking shoes, as they call them. And the reason is, some of these places you go to pick up your load will require you to not be in open-toed shoes. Could you wear tennis shoes? Yeah, but a lot of times your tennis shoes aren't going to be waterproof, and they're not going to be the best thing on winter. Traction devices for your shoes. I've got deals that slip over my shoes so that if I'm on ice or stuff, I have just that little bit more stability. You don't want to fall out here on the ice, and I realize it's about to get warmer, and lay there for several hours before somebody even knows you're there. It's not a great thing. So I think I've lectured you guys enough for today. I didn't mean for this video to be a lecture video, but these are just some really important things that I hope you'll keep an open mind about and consider carrying on your truck. As I said, if you can think of something I missed, leave it in the description below. If we get enough of them, or email them to me. If we get enough of them, we may make another video about this. But otherwise, as this video is being published, I'm getting unloaded, and then I'm picking up a load going to Texas. I'll probably spend a night or two at the house and be right back out. So you guys take care. We'll see you Wednesday with the Wednesday Rant. Take care. Bye-bye.